So that's an Indian pizza and James's smoothie. It's banana mandarin, and I'm having a chocolate glucosamine smoothie and some tikka or tzatziki with cauliflower. And that's what James is going to be talking about today. So I guess I'll just let him get started on it.
Oh, we've got nothing.
Well, nothing to review. I started watching a movie and frankly I found it boring, so...
Was it sleep-worthy?
Well, I'll talk about it later. I just didn't get through it. So this is my outfit for today. Pretty awesome. I hope you like it. It's well, I should do the spin, shouldn't I? Okay, now I probably got stuff on my behind, but
no, it's okay.
There's the outfit. Pretty nice. So I was hiking in it. Well, I was hiking in some different pants. I was hiking in purple pants, and James said it would look better with black pants. So, oh, do I have plant in my hair?
2 leaves. She was, I think, going after some birds, right?
Yeah, actually.
And it's fairly successful. What else did you see?
I saw a painted turtle in the Old Man River.
Yeah. So we haven't seen that before.
No. They claim at Elizabeth Hall Wetlands that the painted turtles are the western painted turtles that are in Elizabeth Hall Wetland are native to what do you call it? I'm just too tired to be doing this. The Milk River.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but not here.
Oh, okay.
They say that,
that
somebody
sounds
probably introduced them, they were pets or whatever.
Well.
It's like, no, people keep red-eared sliders as pets, which look similar, but not painted turtles. And that's pretty close to here, the Milk River. And
Yeah.
I think it's just
yeah.
I think they're very native to the Elizabeth Hall Wetlands. They do very well there. And I think they're very native to there, and I think that was probably something like a nursery. They'd go have their young there, and then they'd go into the Old Man. But now they've put up the berm. James said 1960 or something like that. They put up the berm so that they could build that bridge. And
I think the bridge exists already.
Well, whatever.
It
Make
was to
it so
prevent
that
it to
get flooded away or whatever.
eroded.
Okay. So, anyway, and so since the turtles have no way to escape into the Old Man River now, then, because it used to be connected, that used to be, I guess, an oxbow lake or whatever. What would you call that?
Before it used to be just a channel river.
Okay.
A separate channel. With an
So,
island in the
but
middle.
then they disconnected it with putting that berm in there. And so now on the signs they're claiming, oh, they're not native to here. Well, that's such baloney. That's just something they've written there so that they have an excuse for and to try to legitimize controlling their population or something like that. Which I don't even think they claim that they do, but obviously something happened.
They had a major league population crash last year. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm figuring that more than 95% of them died off. Or were killed off.
Mm-hmm.
Or were kidnapped. Or whatever.
Kidnapped and put into garbage bags into the
Who knows? They might have ended up in people's terrariums or...
No, I think they ended up in the landfill, but
It's hard to say.
it's hard to say.
That's probably it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of built up a bit of a carbohydrate deficit.
Mm-hmm.
I should be talking or flapping my gums. I don't know. A Reykjavik murder mystery. So
Well, how's that butternut squash dish as a pizza topping?
tastes great, folks. That's why I'm hitting it
Good.
right now. I'd be using my hands, but I don't like combining eating and touching books. So. Or at least eating by hand. Now, I don't treat books with kid gloves. I mark them up and stuff like that. But I do like them to last and not have the pages stick together. Drapa.
Yeah.
Not sure what that means. They don't translate that. But this is bilingual, right? So I got hold of it. And I would have got it anyway because I have an Icelandic English dictionary. But it's by Gerdur Kristny, translated by a dude called Rory McTurk. It's quite an Irish name he's got, McTurk. Anyway, it's based on a real story, a true story of whatever. Sounds quite horrible. So I'll just read part of it that explains. In January of 1988, Greta Berge's daughter, 26-year-old resident of Reykjavik, Iceland, was murdered by her husband, the boxer Bragi Olafsson. I think Bragi means poet. So now you know where our word brag comes from, the English word brag. Poet. I've known a lot of people who claim to be poets, and they're real braggers. They write free verse. Anyway, Bragi claimed the murder was an accident. Okay, let's see. So, spoiler alert. Oh, it's on the back of the book anyway. The couple had been drinking for 4 days when a physical argument broke out. In the end, Bragi strangled by accident. No, with ropes, plural. And it shows how much he cared before going back to sleep. Bragi, dude, if you're 1988, he might still be alive. I don't think they have death penalty yet.
It's a real story, eh?
Apparently. Well, not his story. About accidental murder with several ropes. I'm going back to sleep. Oh, God. Yeah. Now, of course, he would have suffered brain damage from boxing and stuff like that, but that's no excuse. Like I say, so if you have problems, just don't visit them on other people. If they're murdering people, that's about the worst thing you can do to them, so, yeah. Especially your wife or somebody.
So, is the smoothie better today or yesterday?
It's going to taste automatically better today because of the walk, but I'll try to take that into account. That's pretty good. I understand when I go like this, it's just because I'm having trouble swallowing. Right. It's not because I'm having trouble swallowing this. I just had some butternut squash that I had to swallow at the same time. Okay. So yeah, it tastes great. Anyway, I have not finished with this. This is a preview. We're reading well so far. Unum or sky unum is clouds. I don't know where the unum comes from. Sky is obvious. Sky or cloud. I'm not going to suggest sky is the original word. It could be our sky, English sky could have meant cloud. I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually a loan word from Norse, which is related to Icelandic. There were a lot of Vikings that settled in the northern part of England, Scotland, Ireland, stuff like that. So we have, in English, quite a few words that are borrowings, like skiff. Why do we have a word, a skiff, and we have a word called a ship? Because originally they were the same word. But it's because skiff comes from the Norse stuff. So now skipper actually comes from Dutch, I think. Which is, we've got the word shipper. But now we use skipper more. I skipper. So a lot of SK words come from English, come from Scandinavia and stuff like that. Can't think of another one right now. Now skipper is also, it could be from the Dutch too, because there's a little dog called Skipper, I think, and it means little captain. So I think it's a little dog. It seems cute in the pictures that I see in dog fancier books. And my dad used to provide pictures, like picture books, dog fancy, little small ones for kids.
Well, he would love those.
Well, he loved dogs. He loved cats. He loved animals. He wanted to be a veterinarian, and it's probably good that he didn't go that route, because
it would have been hard for him.
Well, he's the kind of guy. He was a poultry fancier, and he'd raise frying chickens for us. He'd raise other chickens, so on and so forth. And when he slaughtered them, he couldn't eat chicken for quite a while afterwards. I don't know if it's months or whatever, but the stuff go in the freezer, man. Watching a chicken get killed is not fun. So, and that's just watching. Doing it's got to be pretty brutal. So. Well, if you actually care about anything, really. Oh yeah. So now we're going to talk about Leonard Cohen. We talked about it the other day a little bit. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, maybe a whole lot more. Anyway, this is The Flame, his last published collection of poetry, and it's put out 2018. He died less than 2 years before then. He died 2016. This is pretty good. Now, we were looking at it the other day, and I was comparing it with some of Pauline's poetry, and Pauline noticed right away that he didn't have nearly Pauline's control over rhythm.
I wouldn't say such a thing.
What was that?
I wouldn't say such a thing. You said it.
I noticed it. I said it. Pauline's not the type to boast, but I'm going to boast about myself. I had a better control of it. Spilling, eh?
Yeah. I didn't tighten this on.
Oh, that's what happened. I thought maybe that she'd worked so hard trying to track down a few animals to capture with a camera that
I'm doing it again.
Yeah, seeing that painted turtle was an amazing accomplishment for her. She saw it twice, on the road out and on the road in.
Yeah, the poor thing. I frightened it and it jumped into the water. But I did get it on film, which is cool. I've never seen them in the river before, but I imagine they're there all the time. It's just,
of course. I mean, we were talking with some people from out of town yesterday when we were in Cottonwood, and also they were asking for places to go, so we gave a recommend for Elizabeth Hall Wetlands, and we ended up seeing them because that was on our schedule too.
Yeah.
They were pretty well finished.
Finished when we got there.
We did some shopping in between. We like to combine, like we're going over to the west side or any place. We like to combine shopping with a walk or whatever it is. We're trying to save fuel. We're trying to save money. Anyway, what were we saying? What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Trying to think. I just woke up close. Usually I have. Anyway, what was I going to say? Okay, I'm looking at the flag. My hand against my heart. That's more of an American. If only we could win one of these wars These wars we'd like to start. So it actually is unfinished. So it's got one in brackets. And it should be left off, because these wars we'd like to start, my hand against my heart.
Yeah.
And it's poetry. One of the things you should be striving for, as well as manipulating sound, is succinctness. So, like if you can leave 2 words off, convey the same meaning, leave the 2 words off. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, if you want to talk about war and such things, I could bring out that video you watched.
Yeah,
yesterday.
let's start doing a preliminary thing
I'm
on
gonna
that.
go
I
get
just-
it. So you keep
really, I got
reviewing
my
that for a
dander up
minute.
watching that last night. Or yesterday afternoon, I was sleepy mood. Woke up, Pauline had this movie ready to go, and I finished eating. Usually after I finished eating, I'm ready for about an hour's nap, which really isn't much of a nap, it's more of a sleep, short sleep. Anyway, I had no problem staying awake because the lies were flying fast and heavy in this movie, and the guy, unlike Donald Trump, the guy who put this out, Robert, got a Fisk, Fiska. I think it's probably a Dutch name, or it could be a Scandinavian name too. It means fish or fishes, I guess, with an E on. So I think Fische in German is the cognate word. In German it means fishes. So that's their name for Pisces. Pisces doesn't mean fish, it means fishes. I think it's supposed to be Aphrodite.
So this one,
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
James is going to talk about.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I'll try to avoid the swear words. Okay, cool. A film by Yung Chang. Yung Chang! This is not a movie. Okay, we'd say it's a lot of different things. It's not a lot of truth. You know? Robert Fisk. Oh, it doesn't have an E on the end. So it's Fisk. It means fish, okay? And it could be Dutch. I don't know if it could be Scandinavian. But, I think that's Dutch for fish. And the politics of truth. So this guy believes in truthiness, to use... who came up with that?
Colbert, I think. Yeah.
We're remembering
And
Colbert.
we were talking
they
about
canceled
it.
his show recently.
Yeah, they canceled it, and even though it was great ratings or something.
Well, top ratings for that
Yeah.
kind of show. Now, CBS, I think that was the guilty party, and the cancellation. Well, really, it's Trump complaining to CBS and saying, well, you need some licensing for this, that, and the other thing, and it's not going to happen unless you get rid of Colbert. But they were saying, oh, we're losing $46 million per year on it. And then someone
that
was saying on
possibly
radio, oh, they only lose $20 million on him. It's well worth keeping him because it's a flagship kind of thing. And I'm going, well, no, you don't lose any
Anyway,
money on
what I
something.
was saying to James is, I mean, there's so much, we see so much Canadian funding going to this, that, and the other
Yep.
thing that
Movies.
that
TV
is
show.
not, they're not good productions or whatever.
Yeah.
And why not just write Colbert a letter and say, come
Come
on
on up
down.
north of the border.
or come on up,
Yeah.
technically. Yeah.
Up Saskatchewan way. Okay, this is not a movie. This is the Los Angeles Times before it was taken over by right-wingers. I'm sure. It used to be somewhat left-wing, maybe more centrist. This is not a movie. Presents a necessary, thought-provoking portrait of a dedicated truth seeker. Okay, I don't think he seeks after truth. He made it perfectly clear. He's already made up his mind about stuff. And he's not dedicated enough. So, the one thing, you know, like he did some investigative journalism. So he was saying, I don't bother representing both sides. That's the journalistic ideal. It's never been realized in reality. So I don't even bother pretending. Okay, that's one strike against you. It's actually 7. It's pretty well 3 strikes and you're out, Robert Frisk. Hey, Robert Frisk. Robert Frisky. Anyway, so he's on the side, and not just hanging with, but he's on the side of the flunkies who lost out in Syria, the Alawites who supported the Ba'athist Party, Baathist. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, and you know about it being in Syria, more power to you. If it only sounds familiar to you with reference to Saddam Hussein leading or misleading that party in Iraq, that's power to you too. Now understand, there are a lot of people saying, oh, they're like cats and dogs with each other. No, they're more like dogs who kind of scrap for food, but pack mentality. You go after the pack, and they're going to be going after you. You see what I'm saying? About you've seen how dogs will fight over a scrap, right?
Yeah.
But I suppose wolves do, or whatever. But if you attack the wolf pack, you're in trouble. That's the way the Baathists were, huh? In Syria and Iraq. Now, so he's hanging with the Baathists. They're doing war crimes on, like, I don't know what he was thinking.
And so, anyway, they're basically his tour guides. And they're guiding him around, showing him what they want him to see.
They want him to
why
see. What they
would
actually,
it be any different?
What they actually require him to see. In other words, he can't see anything else. It's, if he wants to go off-roading, well, it might not be good for his health, and definitely not good for his journalistic career in Syria, as it was then constituted. So, what was I going to say?
He was at
well,
one
it
point...
starts off. I'll get to that.
Okay.
The signature and all that
No,
sort of
it's
stuff.
okay.
And it starts off showing this dark scenery. Were you watching the beginning where he's just showing this bombed out place? I think it was Homs. It's a major place in Syria. If you've heard of it, 2 thumbs up. If you haven't heard of it, where have you been? But at any rate, Homs, H-O-M-S. The other important place is Hama. It's actually mentioned in the Bible. It's actually mentioned in the Assyrian Annals, which end well before 600 BC. That's the Assyrian Annals biblical account. Ended before 500 BC, roughly. Somewhere around there. So Hamath has been around forever. They say Hama. They mention Damascus or Damascus or whatever. Damascus is a closer approximation to what the Arabs say. And they mention Aleppo. That's been around forever. I don't think it's mentioned in the Bible, but it's definitely mentioned in the Assyrian Annals. Check this out. This is a cuneiform attempted rendering. It's saying something like Aleppo. Halman. Welcome to the world of linguistics, okay, folks? Halman. That's their attempted rendering Aleppo. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, folks, I just woke up. But, so it starts off with this horrible bombed out place. It looks as though there's no one living there. Well, who are the people who are responsible? Do you know who? Did he actually tell you who the people were who were responsible for bombing that place out?
I don't think so.
No, he didn't really make it clear. Those are the folks he's hanging with.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's the Russians in conjunction with these Baathist people. Now, Baathists are Nazi commies, okay? They're Nazi socialists, only worse. They're Nazi communists with a communist organization, and they're nationalists, right?
Yeah.
Hardcore nationalists. But he never told you. So, remember he was saying, like he was doing investigative reporting. There were reports worldwide of a gassing by the people that he's hanging with and supporting, frankly. And he was, you were watching when he was trying to dismiss all those reports. People were inhaled dust, and they just panicked, right?
Whatever.
Ended up in hospital, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Come on. That's not truth-seeking, guy. You are hiding the truth because you're hanging with a bunch of Nazi commies. They're worse than National Socialists. When I say National Socialists, I'm talking about Nazis, German Nazis. They're worse. Get that straight. You're hearing that, Robert Fisk? Start taking some notes on that little note paper that you had. Anyway, so they let him loose. Off farm. No, it's on the farm. In a place that they bombed out. And he finds some stuff that has some signatures on someone. It's for a signature on kind of like a requisition or something like that for some armaments that have ended up on the side, putatively, on the side of the bad guys, the terrorists. Now the terrorists, both sides in Syria, absolutely awful. The main sides, on one side you got the terrorists, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, al-Nusra or whatever it's called. On the other side, you've got the Nazi socialists or Nazi communists. Understand, when you got a communist organization, you are following up in Lenin's footsteps, and he said we're going to be doing revolutionary terrorism. Terrorists on both sides, okay? So he was going around saying, oh, terrorists, it's just so fancy. He was doing a kind of, it's been a popular thing, even like with Colbert, you know, like they'll mention a buzzword. You've seen that on Colbert and also on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, right? You know, well, people will say something, they'll show one person saying one thing, and then another person will be saying, another person will be saying, it's a buzzword. Anyway, he was trying to dismiss terrorism. He's basically suggesting terrorism is in the eye of the beholder. Well, folks, it's not. Okay. Revolutionary terrorism, we saw what the commies did in the wake of Lenin. Millions, tens of millions of people dead under Stalin, tens of millions of people dead under Mao Zedong. This is what I'm talking about. It's industrial level terrorism. It's just stunning what the communists did. And Nazi communists are into the same thing. Even though they're claiming that they're on the left wing. Understand, when you use the state against the state, as the communists claimed they were going to do, and they didn't, you are not left wing. You don't believe in democracy. You're using the state against the state, and you end up, you get rid of one state and replace it with another. And guess what? The commies were way worse than the Romanovs in Russia. Yeah? So he's got this stuff, and he tracks it down to an arms dealer in Bosnia, former Yugoslavia, okay? And he's going, is this your signature on arms dealer? Oh yeah, it's my signature.
Yeah.
And he weasels it out of the guy that he sent these arms, not necessarily the one there, but these type of arms, to Saudi Arabia. Kind of sloughs that
Well,
over.
he says that he could have sent them to Saudi Arabia, or he's listed a number of places.
Wait, I'm not sure if it was the same guy that was saying
okay.
his signature, but one guy was saying, yeah, we sent them to a number of places. Started off with Saudi Arabia, and I think he sensed that the guy wanted to hear Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
And he might have said, we send most of them to Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. I mean, you know, like, just because, you know, Glock, whatever, sends guns to some police department, and then they've sent Glocks to criminals, doesn't mean a particular police department has wiped people out with a Glock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is
Okay.
true. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm going, well, this looks interesting, but I'd already did the analysis. I was the first, so far as I could tell, that figured out where the terrorists were coming into Syria from.
Well, probably the people who were there realized it.
Which people?
The people just on the border, living on the border. They'd see people going in.
Well, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
I've got a witness.
Yeah.
How much time, 10?
49 seconds.
Okay, you're gonna have to stay tuned, but you should be on the edges of your seat.
Well, list
I'm
off the places that he
I
said.
can't. There's lots of different places. I listed off a lot of places that weren't important. Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, so on and so forth. Did they come from Bulgaria? You know, like, what the hey?
Yeah.
You know, Saudi Arabia does border on Syria, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm going to have to analyze how I figured out that Turkey let those arms in, as well as the terrorists. And I figured it out, was it 2012 or something like that? 2011, whenever it happened. Whenever it started happening. I just did the analysis. People saying, where are the terrorists coming from?